they finally crossed the Rubicon a little bit here with the trade. Now, still a lot of free agent money to go out there and spend, and we're still disappointed by what happened yesterday with Max Fried. The Juan Soto thing is still lingering, but the Red Sox now, you can't say they're doing nothing. Can't say they're just sitting on their thumbs. They've gone out there and made a move. They've acquired a pitcher that I like, 25-year-old Garrett Crochet, who was the, I think, American League Comeback Player of the Year award winner last year. After having Tommy John surgery in 2023, he came back, pitched very well for a truly terrible Chicago White Sox team. But he managed the record of 6-12 with an ERA of 3.58 through 146 innings. He was an all-star, ERA plus of 115 and a WHIP of 1.068. The FIP, I don't know what it is, but I'll assume it's probably pretty good. Yeah, in general, I'd say you got a good pitcher here. You got an opening day starter. You got a lefty. He's young. He's cost controlled for 2 more years. No complaints really at all. I don't have any complaints about this at all. I was hoping they would make a trade like this. I still want them to spend in free agency, and they are a little late to the party here, but it's a good start.
This changes everything for me. I came in here ready to bitch and moan, and I had jumped ship. I literally had jumped ship because they were talking about, oh, you got to pivot after Soto, and teams are going to pivot, and the Yankees get freed, and everybody, blah, blah. They pivoted, and I am fine with the haul. You kept the bulk of your either high minors or young major league, like no Casas, no Abreu, no Duran, none of the young players from the big league roster, and one of your core 4, top 4, whatever, big 4 in Worcester. Like, you're not going to get Crochet without giving up players, without giving up talent. Now, the 2 concerns I'd have are you're buying in on potential with him.
Yes.
He basically had 1 year. He's got 219 career major league innings.
And 146 of them were last year. Right, yeah.
Right. He was great. He's a big old lefty. Like, there's a lot to love about
big boy,
him.
6'6", 250, I think.
Yeah, you have an ace. As long as he's on the field and pitching, you know what I mean? Like, there's, and then the second part is, and we've already had a bunch of texters that are like, that's a lot to give up for a rental. You got to keep this guy.
You're not renting this
cannot
guy,
be a rental. So,
no way.
On the surface,
if this is a rental, and it changes everything
well,
about it.
Absolutely. But on the surface, if you're cynical, someone like you could still be cynical. Oh, they were so scared to pay money, they traded prospects to stay cheap.
I mean,
basically, that's the cynical view of this.
Cynical, or is that maybe kind of true?
But if they don't sign him, that's it.
Yeah, right.
I think you need to sign him because the next step is, and we'll get into the discussion, this stupid uncomfortable word that keeps getting thrown around that I'm so sick of. Uncomfortable.
I get comfortable being uncomfortable.
You know what they should be uncomfortable with? Their lot in life, being a last-place baseball team who's cheap and nobody has any faith in anymore and any trust in. You should be uncomfortable being perceived as a second-tier major league franchise that doesn't measure up to the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, and the true hierarchy of Major League Baseball. But this trade is massive. Like we were talking about, I don't really care how you do it. Get me the T-bone. And you got the T-bone here. This is more Pedro. This is more old school.
Yeah.
Trade for your ace, sign him. He's young. He's 26, 5, whatever the hell he is, mid-20s.
He's 25. I don't know what his birthday is when he turns 26. It will be in June of next year. So yeah, he'll turn 26 next season.
You brought up yesterday, Fried, and these guys, I can't give a 30-year-old a long-term big money contract. You can give a mid-20s guy a long-term big money contract. Again, you're having to extrapolate a little bit off of what he's done and hope that he is that guy for year in and year out, because when you give him a 6-8 year deal for $300-something million. I mean, isn't it reasonable to think that this guy could be asking for? Fried just got the biggest deal for a lefty.
Yep.
And won me. Yeah, let's one up that. Give me a percentage over the top. That's how inflation works. I've been paying attention in baseball finances. That's how inflation works. I want more than that.
Sure is, especially when you're younger and better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but the bottom line is, this energy that I'm bringing, this is what you should now feel. You're back in the game. When was the last time you felt this way about a Red Sox move?
About a Red Sox trade? I can't even think of one, yeah.
Any player coming to Boston via money, via trade, via anything, where you had a little bounce in your step and you want to go watch a game on Nesson at April 20th at 6:45.
Chris Sale, maybe?
Chris Sale. Great
Chris Sale?
Probably Chris Sale.
2017, whenever
White
that
Sox
was. Yeah.
Another White Sox lefty.
Thanks
White Sox,
again,
yeah.
Sox. Hopefully this one stays healthy longer, more
That'd be
frequently.
ideal.
Dan Ball, you have some prospect information.
So yeah, the specifics on this one. Kyle Teal was the big acquisition.
Right.
He was the 4th prospect according to MLB Pipeline. Braden Montgomery was drafted in this year's draft, 12th overall. He was the 5th prospect in the system, and then Chase Mydroth was 11th. He reached AAA this year.
Sorry to interrupt, but can you tell me what whose rankings you're going by? Is it MILB.com?
This is the MLB Pipeline.
Okay, got it.
So Teal is 4, reached AAA this year. 22-year-old catcher. Montgomery still hasn't played. He's in rookie ball. 21 years old, just drafted this year. He was 5th. You have Chase Mydroth, who was 11th. He's an infielder, 23 years old. And Winkelman Gonzalez, number 14, right-handed pitcher, who also reached AAA this year.
Okay. I don't know much about any of them. Kyle Teal's the name that I recognize the most. Montgomery was one that I saw on prospect lists when we were looking over the Red Sox farm system, and people were fawning over how great it was. He was always high up there. Same with Mydroth. And I don't know much about Winkelman Gonzalez, but I do know that the Red Sox don't have a lot of pitching in their pipeline. So to give him up, I think that was probably their top guy, I would imagine, or somewhere close to that. Again, fine. Let's get going here, all right?
You can't be cheap with everything.
You see what these other teams are doing? You see what's happening all around you? You see what the Blue Jays just did yesterday? They just traded for a Gold Glover. Like, teams are being active. You can't sit around.
Correct.
And coming into this show, I mean, we had a whole intro ready to go about how mad we were. This team's sitting by watching all these other teams make moves and cut deals. And now here come the Red Sox. Garrett Crochet joining the team. I was about to say a trio of prospects, but it's 4 of them, a quartet of prospects, if you will. And, we're off and running here. The hot stove season has officially begun. Craig Breslow is officially at the table, and he's thrown some chips in, and we'll see how much longer he stays there before he craps out. I know I just mixed a bunch of different gambling metaphors right there, but it doesn't matter. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I love Garrett Crochet. I'm glad that they got him. I thought that there was a chance that if they whiffed on all of these free agents, that they would sort of look at it and say, well, you know, we couldn't really land the big fish that we wanted. We could make some trades here, but since we weren't able to really bolster the team that much, let's just hold on to our guys for another year and pump up their value, and who knows, maybe some of them will be ready to play this season. I was a little bit worried about that. I was a little bit worried that they just pack it in and say, you know what, we're not really built for this anymore. You know, Major League Baseball, we're the Fenway Sports Group, we got all these other interests. We're not really going to get all that involved. We were good enough last year, and hopefully some of these young guys progress and get better, and that makes the team better, and maybe we'll bump up to like 85 wins, and wouldn't that be okay? You know, you'll hang around in that wild card race until September this time instead of August, you know, and you'll be a 4-win improvement from what you were last season. I do think Garrett Crochet makes you better. I'm not sure that Garrett Crochet bumps you up to the playoffs yet. I still think there's a lot of work to be done here. And I do think this is a great start, and you do have your opening day starter. He was the White Sox opening day starter last year. He was an all-star. He was very, very good early in the season, and I feel like tailed off a little bit in the second half. Yeah. But that's okay. I mean, honestly, it's something I can deal with that.